Dylan has plenty of arm strength. I think he's been inconsistent. You know, I think Shedeur has been mostly accurate on his good ones. When it leaves his hand, you know. So they are very tradable, both Pickett and Flacco. Any other quarterback, they're way at the bottom end.
Senior reporter Zach Jackson has just declared Shedeur Sanders the best quarterback to emerge from the starting training sessions. According to Jackson, Sanders has been impressive from the get-go, showcasing a level of skill that sets him apart. Meanwhile, Dillon Gabriel has been struggling with inconsistency throughout the camp, leaving fans and analysts alike wondering what this means for his future. Zach Jackson also made an interesting point, saying that by Week 4, the Cleveland Browns will likely have to make a decision on their starting quarterback. With just 3 weeks left until the actual games kick off, the pressure is on. Jackson is vouching for Shedeur Sanders to be the guy under center, citing his consistency and poise in the early stages of camp. As the clock ticks down, will the Browns stick with their current options, or will Sanders continue to rise and claim that starting role? In a surprising turn, Browns' GM Andrew Berry weighed in on the possibility of trading one of their quarterbacks. While discussing the team's options moving forward, Berry mentioned that if an enticing offer comes in for any of the QBs, the team might consider moving one. However, he seemed to suggest that the trade could be more likely for one of the veterans on the roster rather than the promising young talent like Sanders.
But he gets the chances with the first, and he always jumps in the first. Like they do a run-through drill, and there's only enough guys for 3 units. So Pickett gets 2, and Dillon gets 2, Flacco gets 1, Shedeur gets 1. But, you know, as far as them seeing, you know, what I see,
Zach Jackson disagrees with the idea that Shedeur Sanders or Dillon Gabriel could be on the trading block anytime soon. While GM Andrew Berry left the door open for a trade, Jackson pointed out that it's highly unlikely any team will be in a position to make a clear move for either Sanders or Gabriel this season. Instead, Jackson believes that if Cleveland decides to trade one of their quarterbacks, it's much more likely to be one of the veterans on the roster. With their value perhaps being clearer to other teams, the Browns could potentially leverage those offers for a better deal. The future of the veteran QBs could be in play, but as Jackson sees it, Sanders and Gabriel are firmly in the mix for now. Zach Jackson had high praise for Shedeur Sanders, especially highlighting his throws, release, and overall skill set. According to Jackson, Sanders is playing better than anyone else in the QB room right now, showcasing talent that's truly next level. However, there's one major catch. Despite Sanders standing out, he hasn't been getting the bulk of the first-team reps. Instead, it's been Dillon Gabriel who's getting occasional chances with the first team, but the majority of his reps have been with the second and third team units.
And the thing I'm really watching with Shedeur, not just this week, but more the next couple of weeks, is can he earn some chances? Because when you're out there with XFL guys, undrafted rookies, it's going to be hard. And Dillon, based on where he was drafted and based on mini-campaign yesterday, is getting chances occasionally with the ones, but more with the 2.
NFL Hall of Famer Louis Riddick has also chimed in, and his opinion carries a lot of weight. Riddick called Sanders the most talented quarterback on Cleveland's roster, stating that after watching him in his first training session with the team, it's clear Sanders has the potential to outshine everyone. Riddick, who's seen his fair share of football talent over the years, believes that if Sanders is given the same opportunities as the other quarterbacks on the roster, he could quickly emerge as the most impressive player on the entire team. However, Riddick wasn't all praise without caution. While he's confident that Shedeur Sanders is clearly ahead of the other quarterbacks in terms of raw talent, he also made it clear that Sanders' success in Cleveland isn't a done deal just yet. According to Riddick, it all comes down to one crucial factor: how many reps Sanders will get with the first-team offense. Even though Sanders is showing himself to be the most impressive quarterback on the roster, Riddick is concerned that the Browns may not give him the same opportunities as the other quarterbacks. If Cleveland doesn't allow Sanders to get more reps with the first team, his chances to fully prove himself could be limited, despite his evident potential.
How many reps does Shedeur get? How many reps does he get in team? How many reps does he get in the games? How many 2-minute situations? How many of those situations that allow a coach to say, hey, look, I have a good feeling for what this guy can bring to the table, and therefore I'm comfortable putting him in? I would venture to say he's going to get very few.
Louis Riddick didn't hold back when addressing the internal politics at play within the Browns organization. He made it clear that, despite Shedeur Sanders' obvious talent, there's a significant challenge standing in his way: the politics of the situation. Riddick pointed out that because Sanders was drafted later, the team may be more inclined to give priority to the other quarterbacks, particularly Dillon Gabriel, who is more established in the system. In Riddick's words, even if Sanders continues to prove he's the most talented quarterback during training, the Browns might still be more focused on setting up Gabriel for success, given his position and prior experience. Kimberly A. also echoed Riddick's sentiments, adding her own perspective on Shedeur Sanders' situation. Like Riddick, she believes Sanders is the most talented quarterback on the roster, but she also made it clear that talent alone won't be enough to secure him the starting job. Kimberly emphasized that Sanders still has a lot to prove in the training sessions, particularly against the competition in Dillon Gabriel and Joe Flacco. She stressed that Sanders must first fully grasp the offense, showing not only his raw natural ability, but also his understanding of the system. The next few weeks are going to be critical for Shedeur, as he'll need to demonstrate he's ready to not only lead the offense, but also outshine the other quarterbacks in a way that leaves no doubt about his potential as the starter.
I think that the ceiling is high for Shedeur. I'm a big fan of his, but he has to come in and just grasp the offense before we even talk about what he can do for the Cleveland Browns and leading them to glory and all that. He hasn't even, there are 4 quarterbacks in that room.
NFL star Ocho Cinco made it clear that he doesn't believe Dillon Gabriel or Kenny Pickett have what it takes to be true starting quarterbacks in the NFL. They're just not at that level, Ocho said bluntly, sparking a major debate. He didn't stop there. Ocho went even further, declaring that even with a miracle, Kenny Pickett still wouldn't have the chance to prove himself as the long-term solution for any team. Ocho, on the other hand, wasn't backing down on his belief in Shedeur Sanders. Shedeur is not the type to shy away from competition, Ocho said confidently. Whenever he gets his chance, he's going to make a difference. Ocho went on to emphasize Sanders' winning mentality, calling him a serial winner who has proven himself time and time again. The Browns better watch out, because Shedeur is coming, and when he gets that shot, he's going to show everyone why he's the future, Ocho declared.
I know how the outcome is going to be, based on what he can do when he touches the field. He's been a winner all his life, everywhere he's went. And that same attitude and discipline and the way of playing the game of football is going to carry over in Cleveland as well. And this is no disrespect to the other competitors.
The quarterback competition in Cleveland is heating up, with Shedeur Sanders emerging as a standout talent, according to senior reporter Zach Jackson and several other football experts. Jackson has been vocal in his praise for Sanders, recognizing him as the best quarterback from the early training sessions with his impressive skill set and poise. However, Jackson also highlights the critical factor that could determine Sanders' future with the team: his lack of first-team reps. Despite his talent, Sanders is yet to receive the same opportunities as Dillon Gabriel, who has been working with the first team more frequently. This limitation could hinder Sanders' chance to fully prove his worth. Jackson also touches on the possibility of trading one of the quarterbacks, but he believes that a trade is more likely for one of the veterans on the roster rather than the promising young quarterbacks, Sanders and Gabriel. He sees the veterans as having more value to other teams, which could help Cleveland secure a better deal. Further amplifying the conversation, NFL experts like Louis Riddick and Kimberly A. echo Jackson's belief in Sanders' raw talent, but caution that his success depends on the opportunities given to him. Riddick specifically points out the internal politics within the organization, where veterans might be prioritized due to their established roles in the system. NFL star Ocho Cinco also voiced his belief that Sanders is not the type to shy away from competition, calling him a proven winner who will make a difference when given the chance. While the talent is undeniable, the next few weeks are crucial for Sanders to prove he can grasp the offense and outperform the other quarterbacks to claim the starting role. As the Browns face a looming decision by Week 4, it's clear that Sanders' potential is undeniable. But how the team handles his development and competition will be the determining factor in his path to becoming the starting quarterback. Will the Browns bet on their young talent, or will the veterans and organizational politics dictate their choice? Only time will tell. So what do you think? Is Shedeur Sanders the future of the Cleveland Browns? Or are the veteran quarterbacks like Dillon Gabriel still the safer bet for the starting job? Do you believe Sanders will get the chance to prove himself with more first-team reps? Or will the internal politics and veteran status of other players hold him back? With all the buzz and hype surrounding him, do you think the Browns should make Sanders their QB1? Or is it too early to make that call? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. This is shaping up to be a major storyline in Cleveland's season, and we want to hear from you.